I am a lonesome warrior, and this is Len's Island, an intense dungeon-crawling, open-world survival crafting game packed with endless quests and vast lands to explore. Can I eat 50 raw sardines without dying? Can I unlock every single achievement in the game, including the hidden ones? Oh, well, I don't know. Let's find out. Watch to the end of the video. Lenny's Island. What the frick do I name this? I'm naming it Lennyland. Alright, welcome to Lennyland. I don't love the camera, but it's alright. Alright, now it's time to learn how the combat system worked. Starting off, you can time your attacks by clicking the trigger button when the little circle ball thingy appears. A successful timed trigger will make you deal bonus damage. This is called a critical hit. Hold on, let me try and get killed by a tree. I know that one of the achievements is get hit by a tree. Come on. Frick, I want to get... Oh. Oh, you could knock trees over while... That's actually kind of crazy. I promise I'm doing this for a reason. Come on! Yes! Oh, man. I will say the music is quite enchanting. It's quite nice. Deer? Oh, I didn't even mean to hit that. I'm sorry. Can I build a house here? Oh, this would be cool. Wait. We'll go for a weird, like, knot. There you go. How's that? How's that for a weird design? We like that? Oh, it's actually... Holy fr... Oh, wait. Wait, no, kill me. I want them to... Oh, that was an achievement. While I was learning how to do the final part of the quest getting started, which was build a house, I also learned that I could unlock stuff, which was pretty cool. That's that. First Len's Island house. My first abode. Wait, I can unlock stuff? What the frick? Map. Oh, yo, I'm dying to hunger. That's crazy. Yes, so it seemed that constructing an entire house may have just depleted my hunger to the fullest. So, I decided why not consume some of the berries that I've been collecting to fix that issue. I'm going purely off sound cues for the critical strikes, by the way. I'm not even looking at the guy. For a little while longer, I decided hitting rocks and doing a little exploration was a good use of my time. During my stroll, I noticed a bridge which connected to a very small piece of land. No, I don't want to activate that. I'm scared. I don't know what that does. We will touch on what this stone is for later, but for now I hit a few barrels and obtained some salvaged metal from them, which you'll see this is extremely important for later on. I decided to make my way into the mines, completely unprepared, like an idiot. However, I did receive a message that I am able to build in the caves, just like Minecraft. This is freaking awesome. This caving trip was not going to last long though, as I hit one rock and cowardly and swiftly decided to exit. Come here, you little deer. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna kill you. Calm down. Just joking, you little ween. Yay, I did it. Alright, buy 100 men and 10 stones. Okay, I have to go to the mines now. This will be fun. Was indeed time to go to the mines, but obviously not before I got harassed by a little void creature. What's this? What are you? Disgusting void beast. What was that? There's another one. Look at this guy. There's two. Look at these guys. What is this? Be gone, creature. That's what I thought. Disgusting creature. Not even close to death. Don't even look at my health. Don't do it. I need to mine iron shards, it seems, which I don't know where those are. I don't know what... I'm guessing this is iron, no? The lighting on that's a bit messed up. Or this could be coal. That would make sense. It's black. Iron is bound to be a little bit more... Yeah, it's circular. I think that's coal, no? It is. That's good still, though. As I ventured into the Bridgewater mines to complete some more quests, I got another achievement. 100 rolls. Very nice. Very nice. I decided once again, the caves must wait, as I went out and attacked the natural wildlife for my own greed for a feast. I'm a dirty meat eater. Vegans. I'm not sorry. Thank you. Let's go! So much food from that. After I had stopped wetting my pants from going into the caves last time, I decided to give it one more go. I came across this foundation seemingly pointing in a certain direction. In spite of the oncoming danger, I decided to make some foundations of my own to cross the crevasse. Here I found plentiful amounts of slimes, which I thought I would need in the future, a bunch of mushrooms, and a lot of stone, which is always useful. There's also a little bit of coal, which I indulged in. Also this weird slime stuff that unfortunately my pickaxe could not break just yet. Oh, my weapon tier is too low for this? I didn't even realize that. Hello? Okay. What do you want? Now, as you may be able to guess, these slimes worked exactly how you would expect. You kill a large one, turns into even smaller slimes. You kill those slimes, they turn into even tinier slimes. They also multiply every single time. Does this remind you of another game yet? What a cool game. What a terrible house. As I have a debate on whether I should deconstruct my entire house and throw it in the garbage. As you can see in the tutorial section in the top right, I have to build an anvil and upgrade my Bowie knife to an iron sword. So I do that right now, which gets me through 3 of 5, puts me onto 4 of 5 in the tutorial. Now this is the fun part. Dude, I'm tweaking out right now. Yeah! Go to the dungeon entrance and light the obelisk to reveal the keystones on your map. Oh, this? Oh. Oh, okay. Activate the... So I have to activate all the keystones. Okay, I don't have to go in order, no? Oh, that's this? I don't speak this language at all. Very cool. As I ventured off to activate all the keystones, found this little spawner here, spawning void suckers. Now, these void suckers here are nasty little buggers that I've actually been tasked with exterminating. There's literally an achievement I have to kill like 500 of them. So, as the Grandmaster Elite Eterna 6 exterminator that I am, I eviscerated all the creatures and the spawner. Whilst there, I also came across an ancient tablet, unlocking one of 10 parts of the ancient runic language that I must discover. I also, as the scavenger I am, noticed a pumpkin. So I'd snatch that up real fast because, well, as I am greedy, I would like to plant that later and sell it. Oh, surely I don't have to go in here. That's terrifying. Oh no. I did indeed have to enter the cave to activate this western keystone. Whilst I was in there, I came across some iron shards, which I willingly pickaxed to the face. It gave me 4 iron shards, which is fantastic. For some reason, I decided to go into the cave here, which, questionable at best. Very questionable. There's a bad guy over there. You see that? There was indeed a bad guy over there. I discovered even more bad guys that I had to have a tussle with, almost dying in the process, like a complete idiot. There's so many. Now, as you'll be able to see by the bottom of the screen, I have an ability binded to my E key. This will come in handy for grouped creatures just like this, when, of course, I finally realize it exists. There's an orb. Give me the orb. Go. Worth? Worth? Question mark? Worth? Yeah, no. Most certainly not worth. You accomplished absolutely nothing. Dark essence? Wait, what does it say? A massless, dark, and evil substance with no backpack limit. Oh, really? Ah. Just to explain Void Essence real fast, this is a extremely valuable resource that drops from defeating the Void Fellas within the dungeon. It is not useful as of right now, but it will be for creating weapons and a better backpack later on. You can also sell it for a reasonable amount if you have a reason to. After my short caving expedition, I activated the North Keystone, then continued to find the East Keystone, which wasn't really too far away at all. However, I did have to make a raft for this, as I was pretty sure sharks existed in this game, and I didn't want to be in the jaws of one of those things anytime soon. I went ahead and went back home before moving on to my next quest, and I had noticed that some of my floorboards were torn to shreds, most likely from those void beasts that were taking a munch out of it earlier while I was trying to kill them. So I said, you know what, frick this. We're going Dr. Stone on these floorboards, baby! Clay. Why clay, you may ask? Well, I felt like it was probably about time to let out my inner farmer and start to plant some crops. Let's pretend I know a single inch about farming. I got a little tutorial on how a watering can works, which was simple enough to understand. If you've ever played Stardew Valley, you'll know how painfully annoying it is to water your crops in that game. In this game, however, watering one plant plot would water all the plants within it. After this, I noticed I had a few levels as well. I stuck a level in Skilled Assassin and Max Health for now. Now, the reason why I chose the Skilled Assassin for a level up was, well, of course, I was going to be battling a lot of things very soon in the dungeons. With the perks that it gives, a chance to double the Dark Essence harvested from drops, 25% bonus crit damage, which is an astronomical amount, by the way, and more healing when you're full on food. This was going to be extremely useful when I go dungeon diving, and just caving in general, or just fighting monsters. Regardless of what I'm doing, this was going to be very useful early on. Now, obviously, with a planting plot comes seeds, and of course, to make sure those seeds grow to their fullest potential, they need water, which meant I needed a watering can, which I could craft from this blueprint that I had. After planting my seeds into the ground, I was forced to touch grass and unlock the main dungeon. Okay, Complete the dungeon. Oh, it's just gonna throw me in? Okay. Alright, time to go die. Oh, look. It's these. So these are the void thingies. The void fellas, huh? Okay, should I light the way so I know which direction I'm going, or does it matter? So, to quickly explain how these things work, these are monster spawners. They are found within dungeons and caves. They create enemies like these little void fellas you're seeing until they are destroyed, which players must do multiple strikes upon them to destroy them. Focusing on destroying these over the monsters themselves was going to be crucial in defeating each and every dungeon that I attack. Get out of here, stinky. Destroy. Oh, wait, you could two-shot with that? That's crazy. While I was figuring out my combo move using my E key, as you can see here, I was... Oh! Wait, you get just sent back? That's kind of forgiving. Now, as I was saying, I was also preparing for the next section of this dungeon, which looked sort of like an arena, which I learned very fast the hard way that once you're in, you can't leave. I don't think I'm ready. Okay. I don't think I'm ready for this. Even though I really wasn't too prepared for this, I used all that I knew about the combat system and the rolls, which you could pair with a jump to get a jump roll. Okay, wait for my cooldown. Whew. My strategy here was to gather all the void creatures behind me in a group, then direct my swinging, swipey attack directly into the center, killing all of them. Well, hopefully. I also had to somehow make my way around to all the spawners and kill them one by one while fighting off the hordes that were spawning out of them, which, with this grandiose strategy of mine, I ended up defeating my first dungeon with. Not bad. Okay. Alright, the caves are overrun. I'm not sure if I'll last the night. The void beasts are everywhere. Money. Okay, you're not supposed to go down there. I lost 10 HP for doing that. So what am I doing? Oh, dog! Hey! Wait a minute. What the frick? Now, while it did take me a little while, I did eventually figure out what I had to do. Just literally open this, that's it? Alright. Collect one lightstone. I collected one lightstone. Oh, frick yeah, dude. That's another achievement. As I ventured back home, it seemed my place was swarming with void beastlings, stopping me from being able to enter my house. So, I do what I must and defeat them all. Get the freak out of here, bruh. In the morning, I complete the upgrading of my floors to stone. This is very necessary, trust me. I intended to tend to my plants immediately. However, I noticed that I had a few points available. Oh, I 100% want that. I want all of these at least once, but I'll go, like, deeper into it later on. This is the fishy fella. Oh, wait, fish! I need to get fish for one of my achievements. Alright, let's learn how to fish together. In order to fish in Len's Island, we must first buy a rod from Kevin the Fisherman, this little fella right here in Bridgewater Town. Once you purchase the rod, it can be equipped on your hotbar like any other weapon or tool in any other survival game, right? Now, the way to fish in this game is actually pretty complicated. You must obviously first line up your hook into a river, pond, or an ocean like this, and then cast. Once casted, you'll see that you're put into a sort of reaction-styled minigame with the fish. To catch a fish, you must score a series of critical hits, as they call it on the Wikipedia page. Just like how you would in combat, you left-click when a crit circle appears as white. However, as you noticed, I said white. If the circle appears red, clicking will snap the line, which I'll very soon learn. Holy fr- Oh, you weren't supposed to- Okay, so some of them you're not supposed to hit. Okay. Freaking sardine, okay. Is there like a place to catch certain fish? Like maybe this is only sardines. Yeah, this is just sardines. Okay, it seems like they do spawn in different... There's certain rarer fishing spots, it seems. Yes, much to nobody's surprise. Just like Animal Crossing and any other game you may recall that has fishing involved in some sort of capacity, fish do indeed spawn in different locations, which I will have to travel to later on to get the achievement Fish Collector, which is collecting one of each fish. After making the bright decision to purchase a bow, which I'll very rarely use, it was time to continue on to Tarragon Town, which a friendly shark kindly escorted me to. It was definitely not trying to bite my nutsack off. Uh-oh. That's scary. But I think I can catch that thing, right? Alright. New place. I made my way into the town and straight into the caves, learning some more of the ancient script via the rune. I broke a barrel and then scavenged for coal and iron a little bit. You know, you gotta take advantage of situations like this, you know? Holy frick, look. Oh, there's lava over there. That's kind of freaking terrifying, no? Poopy pants scary, no? Next on the agenda was activating the Tarragon Dungeon Obelisk, which was located over yonder, surrounded by void beasts and spawners, which I quickly dispatched. After that, it was time to move on to the next task, which was activating the keystones for each of the different areas. The Forgotten Outpost, the Forgotten Markets, and the Forgotten Mines. I started with the Forgotten Mines. Finding my way through the dungeon, though, was not going to be very simple, as void beasts and spawners were absolutely everywhere. Mate, it was full, I tell you. Dude, if you were in this mine at this time, what would you do? I don't even know. I'd just accept death. I'd accept my fate. So, as you'll see, there's a new enemy that has entered the fray. This is the lightning fish. Kill this thing, kill this thing. I don't want this thing in here. What the heck is that? These little void zapper creatures are the 4th void creatures that you'll encounter in the caves. Their attacks are far and close, which makes them pretty tricky to dodge. They do 25 damage with a close range charge, which is absolutely insane. This cave was pretty difficult as well, dying many times in the process of trying to conquer it. Where's the spawner there? Can I get a swing in there? Oh! Get out, get out, get out, get out! Yo, I've killed only 500 of these freaks. Look how many there are. Well, like, I don't know what they want me to do. They'll maybe cross this. The junction. Oh, I'm certainly not alive. Oh, okay. Alright, I guess we'll try. Try as I shall. My strategy for the junction was pretty simple. Kite, attack spawners, kite, attack spawners, continued until they died. Then, obviously, I would take out the void beasts after all the spawners were gone. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Frickin' wrong way. It seems here that I was going absolutely insane. Weaklings. I eventually did make it to the keystone to activate it, however, and I was also able to pick up some night braces, which will add to my armor ever so slightly. I think it's falling apart. I think it's one of those situations where, like, the dungeon boss has been defeated, the dungeon's crumbling or something. It indeed was the case that after the dungeon had been conquered, the place was to collapse afterwards. After this, it was time for a little pondering. I pondered on the idea of maybe upgrading my sword, which I thought it may have been about time for. I entered the caves in search of stone for a crafting recipe, you'll soon see. However, in the meantime, I was also able to obtain the Void Decimator achievement. I'm making work on the achievements part, at least on the 100% part. I know it's something that I'll passively get, but I just want to see the number go up. I've already done 26% of this game. Crafted a smelter and did a little research on how it works. Iron and scrap metal makes hardened... Oh, I see. Okay. Alright. Yeah, iron is not easy to come by, it seems. At least from what I know. For some reason, I also thought my dog needed a doghouse. I'm not really sure why. I mean, he wasn't misbehaving or anything. As a matter of fact, the guy avidly helps me by picking up floor drops all the time. Regardless, little Kenny has a house now. He's going in it. Oh, look at that puppy. Alright, so we have to do the activate the Forgotten Markets keystone, activate the Forgotten Mines keystone, unlock the main dungeon on Tarragon. So let's go back to Tarragon Island. Okay. Got it. Understood. Of course, this creature's here. Oh, it's right here, I think. I'm gonna literally get on and go. I have to beat this dungeon. This will be fun. It was time for the Forgotten Markets. Almost instantly, we're met with traps. Specifically, these are arrow traps that are triggered by a pressure plate, which happen to also come up fairly often in these dungeons later down the line, as you'll see. A new monster has appeared, and it is currently thrashing me, as you can see. However, with my sword art skill, Aquarius Slash, that I just made up just now while doing this voiceover, I obliterated the beast. I continued into the dungeon, and it got pretty intense fairly fast. Obviously, as per the previous dungeon, our goal here was not necessarily to defeat enemies. Mostly, we were trying to defeat spawners. This dungeon was also so important to me to defeat that I was pretty much silent the entire time. I continued to do my roll and then attack techniques, which seemed to work perfectly against all the mobs. Over there, that? 'Twas indeed over there where I had to venture to complete the dungeon. For that though, the dungeon had some unfortunate structural problems, it seemed. Hold on, fight over here, let's fight over here, let's fight over here. Hold on, let me regen. Hey, let me regen, you fat idiot. Alright, you're asking to die, never mind. Not even close. This guy freaking electricity bombs me. What is that? This is a zappy fish. These things do a lot of damage and have a lot of range. They are very scary fellas. Next up was lots of voidlings. Yeah, I don't know. This is just what the next section of the dungeon was called. Since I was trapped in an extremely small box with a boatload of voidlings on me at all times, it was very difficult to try to aim for the spawners specifically. However, with the use of my sword ability and my rolls, I was able to pull together some very deadly moves. Get fricked, idiots. Oh my god, it's so cool. The combat system is epic. Whew. 1 HP. Oh, not even close. That is a blatant lie. This was very close. However, not close enough, because I was able to complete the dungeon and retrieve a knight's chestplate as a reward. I decided to curse the dungeon I had just completed, and I pondered on whether or not it was worth doing it again or not. Wait, should I curse this? I chose against it, well, because I didn't think I had enough gear to take on a cursed dungeon just yet. I had a skill point available, so without hesitation, I put it into increased base damage and chance to double fish and meat collected, which is unbelievably useful, by the way, especially for one of the achievements I have to do, which is eat a bunch of meat, pretty much. Oh? Maybe I shouldn't have pressed that button, huh? I don't know if I was supposed to curse that dungeon or not. That's the thing, like, I don't know. Whether I cursed the dungeon or not was up to me at that time. Cursing a dungeon is activated via the keystone outside once the dungeon has been completed once. You can curse every dungeon in the game multiple times after completion. Cursed dungeons are a fair bit more difficult than normal dungeons, containing elite enemies, more traps, and a bunch of other stuff. It's typically not very fun to do when you're under-leveled like I am. Next up on the list of questies was the Forgotten Mines. As usual, we're focusing on spawners, any loot boxes we can shove our swords into, as they usually drop some pretty good stuff, such as scrap metal. I got arrows. What's stopping me from just doing this? The game. I found a way to cheat the dungeon a little. You can kind of hide in this little spot here, then go out and attack, and then go back in the little spot. Something I didn't expect coming into this dungeon was having to tussle with so many lightning fishies. However, as usual, they were no match for my... Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't very fun. So, it seems I couldn't just blindly run in and expect good results. I devised a small strategy to deal with these little fish cretins. Alright, they can't get in here, so I just sit here, do this, go back. Go back. This is just like the cheese way of doing it. Yeah, I'm cheesing it. Yeah, and what? Dude, I don't have potions. I'm just gonna die. These freaking electric eel things are sucking me. Okay, this is gonna be a problem. I am specifically going for spawners again, I think. Alright. I'm gonna loop around. I'm just gonna press on one on every single one. And then I'll just keep doing that until they die. This is my strat. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This strategy repeated for the rest of this dungeon fight. And while practical, it wasn't necessarily very fast. Regardless, it did get the job done. I activated the keystone and got a very healthy reward from the chest. Holy god. Alright, am I getting another chest piece? Am I getting an armor piece from this? Yes! Holy frick yeah. Alright, that's it. I have to leave now. Once I had left, I cursed the dungeon, even though I wasn't going to go back in, and it seemed I had a skill point available, so I stuck it straight in roll cooldown, which was going to be fantastic in combat, especially in the dungeons. Next up was completing the main dungeon on Tarragon Island. This was going to be one of the hardest dungeons I'd have to face so far in this entire video. To get to the boss fight of this dungeon, I had to, of course, go through the entire dungeon, and I also had to repair a bridge, which costed a lot of materials. Right after repairing the bridge was the boss fight. But never fear, Aquaman is here. I could never lose to a flaming boss. Jesus Christ. That guy is not the... That guy is not it at all. Can I cheese the... Oh, hold on. I gotta find a cheat for this. I indeed was ready to search far and wide for a cheap strategy to beat this boss. Not before dying again, though. No, it's just instant death, bro. There's nothing you can do to that. I went in for another attempt, and it seems to me that this specific spot right here, the flaming dog could not hit me, which was interesting. So I used it to my advantage, of course. Okay, so well, now if I go up here, what? It actually can't hit me here. Okay, this is cheap and kind of cringe, but it's whatever. Unfortunately, by this point, my workbench wasn't leveled enough to craft regeneration potions, so I had none of those. I was relying on natural regeneration from being full hunger. Otherwise, I may have tackled this boss a little differently. However, this cheap strategy went on for a while, going up into the cheap spot, down to attack, back up to the cheap spot, down to attack, until the beast finally fell to my scumbaggery. Frick yeah, dude! Let's go. Oh, dude, what a freaking gamer I am. Holy God. I feel like a piece of trash. Hardened steel claymore? What the heck? Is this a blueprint? No, this is a sword. Yo, heck yeah, dude. Look at that. Wait, that's only one boss, right? There's more. Oh, cleaning up. Collect 20 glass bottles. Let's go. Another achievement had been claimed, and a new weapon had entered the smash. It seems this weapon's damage was much higher than my previous sword, that being a hardened steel claymore. I hadn't even had access to hardened steel just yet, so this was a great weapon to get from the boss. This sword was going to be very useful for the rest of this dungeon and for this next fight. By that I mean we are not done here. There was another boss to beat in this dungeon. Oh my god, it does so much damage. What is wrong with this guy? Holy god, that electricity freak is so bad. It's so annoying. Yo, stop. This thing is a disgusting freaking creature, dude. Like, what is that? Why does it do 100,000 damage? I'm not even like... It's not even a boss. A harvest moon rises? What the heck does that mean? Well, great question. A harvest moon is a world event that happens during the nighttime every 5 in-game days. The harvest moon will summon hordes of voidlings, which raid your farms, homes, and outposts if you have purchased it. However, you can also benefit from an increase in farm produce growth when a harvest moon occurs as well. Oh, what's the R? What's that do? Okay, let's test it. Oh, a ground slam. That's kind of cool. There was indeed a new ground slam type ability on this hardened steel claymore, which was absolutely phenomenal for dealing with packs of voidlings like I was here. I had a new point to put into my skill tree, and I had decided on getting ignite, which is an enchant I could put on my weapon using an enchanting table, which I was fairly close to having access to. Next up, I was ready to go to Pound Town. Not the type of Pound Town you're thinking about, though. God forbid I get pounded right now. That would be terrible. This was a pretty easy area, though, as it was all the same type of void beast with a fairly recognizable and adaptable attack pattern. The void boar. Ah! Big boss, yes? Okay, so that's the HP bar, yeah? If I see, like, this guy just regen, I'm gonna kill him in the face. The Void Boar, the dungeon boss of Tarragon Town's main dungeon. He had a few attack patterns I had to memorize. A basic down claw attack, this spitty, squirty lightning ability out of his mouth, and then a ground pound pulsing lightning ring, which I had to jump over to avoid. I'll learn this the hard way. Oh, what? What? Oh, he is not. Oh, okay. That's his angry ability. Don't do that again, please. Holy frick. It does so much. Dude, it does so much damage. Oh my god. And it stuns. It stuns me. I'm gonna keep dodging for a bit. He's half HP. I can wait this out. This is fine. So much dude! Oh, that was good damage. You know, I might just keep using my abilities. Do it. Do the ground slam thing. Can I just keep kiting? Maybe. He's trying to curse my dog. Alright. Okay, well he got me good. Fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, okay. He's like one. I don't have regen. I've just been like naturally regenning. Get frickin' owned. Maybe I should get to max HP before I fight this guy. Wait, does he kill me here? Oh, he will, yeah. Okay, I can only tank one of those. Then I just die. Haha. Come on. No, I'm 1 HP. So is he. He's also 1 HP. Come on. I need more regen, man. Whoop! Oh, that's so long range. What the heck? I'm half. Let me get to full. You know what? Let me get to full HP. I can kill him if I'm full HP because I can tank one of his attacks. Frickin', how does he hit that? Excuse me? Okay, ready? Yeah! Let's go! I was like, yeah, I'll just regen to full. And then just hit him with a 1, 2. Oh, man. Dungeon boss is dead, so the thing is gonna collapse. What's in here? Helmet. Oh, it's the last piece of armor. Yes. Oh, I can warp? Something of yeah. I haven't learned that language yet, sadly. I'm stupid. I might go cook. I have a lot of meat. I might go cook my meat. Iron void boar toe. That's cool. I don't know if I was supposed to be able to beat that void boar thing at this point. It didn't feel like I was able to. I'm going home. I want to enchant. To obtain the level 2 workbench, I needed wood, salvaged metal, and iron shards. So it was material hunting time. At this point, I had figured out I could hack away at stone deposits and then refine the stone down into iron instead of searching for iron deposits. This was a major discovery. With iron now sorted, I headed into the cursed caves. Probably not the best idea ever, but I decided to fully commit this time since clearing it was required for an achievement, and it was going to be good XP regardless. Since I'd of course already ran the particular dungeon before, it was fairly straightforward. Clear the spawners, clear out the voidlings, break the totem in the middle, move on. The difference in loot in this cave though was clear. Cursed dungeons generally do give you different loot to the first time clearing the dungeon, which was understandable. I mean, it would be pretty broken if it just gave you the same loot over and over again. Next on the checklist of things to do was building a refinery. Funny enough, it was really cheap. Once it was up and running, I had learned earlier that stone turns into iron in the refinery, which is exactly what I needed for the upgrades to the workbench and iron tool. Naturally, I went back out, gathered a lot more stone. My main goal at this stage was, of course, upgrading the workbench so I could finally obtain the enchantment table. After grabbing the rest of the wood I needed from the outside world, which I dreaded since it meant I had to touch grass, I upgraded the workbench and started working on collecting materials for the enchantment table. The recipe was simple enough: 50 stone, 1 hardened steel bar, which I finally had access to, and sapphire. Luckily for me, I'd been hoarding sapphire without realizing how truly useful it was as a mineral. I was quite perplexed by my next upgrades being titanium. How do you get titanium? What the heck? Regardless, I wanted to finish setting up the enchantment table. Once built, just like in Minecraft, you need a catalyst to actually enchant gear. Over in that world, it is, as you know, lapis lazuli. However, in Lens Island, it is sapphire. I figured out clay could actually be refined down into sapphire. Yeah, clay. It made absolutely no sense, but I wasn't going to start questioning Flow Studios' game design choices at this point. I went out and gathered a ton of clay, refined it, and stocked up on sapphire. For my first enchantment, I chose Ignite on my sword, which at the time I thought was a cool choice. Damage over time. Let's just say it wasn't my best decision I had made. Still, it got me my very first enchantment in the game, which gave me the Novice Enchanter achievement. The only downside was that you could only apply 1 enchantment at a time to any piece of gear, so I took my flaming sword into the cursed mines to test it out. It's gonna make my fights last like not even nearly as long. Does it die? It does die. So if I hit it once, it's dead. So it's an insta-kill now. That's crazy. Oh my god, oh, this is so broken, dude. Oh, but I go on fire if I touch them. That's the only problem. Okay, so I can't touch them. Wait, this is such a broken weapon upgrade. Oh my god. Yeah, the problem is I catch on fire. Gather over here, my friendlies. Frickin', this guy's jumping me. My strat's gonna work even better now that I've got damage over time. He's caught me on fire, this scum. Okay, Ignite has some drawbacks, it seems. Seems to be of the flaming kind of drawback. Not very good. Wow, I've reached level 11. Holy frick, how much HP does this have? Maybe I need, like, flame protection on my armor. Why are they healing? Why am I dying? Yeah, there's one drawback with this ability I have, and that's, yeah, I could die. My tiny little farm was finally ready to harvest. Sadly, there's no multi-pick in this game, so I had to pick every crop one by one, which is not ideal. But hey, the pumpkins were the things keeping me alive, and soon I'd be selling them off from sweet merchant cash. I need to go to Shaver Town. Where the frick is that? Next stop was Shavar Town, which, fun fact, means comet in Hebrew. Don't ask me why I know that. Thought it was cool. Anyways, after a nice little boat ride, I rolled up to this desert town full of limestone, shiny gear, and seeds. Shavar Town. This is a cool town. Since I needed to plant 1,000 crops for the Green Thumb achievement, I stocked up. Of course, I immediately managed to set a tree on fire with my Ignite Sword enchantment, which I had just obtained. The tree's on fire. Oh, man. Which drew in some monsters. Fast ones at that. Thank goodness for dodge rolling, though, because I would have been mince meat otherwise. I even died to fall damage on a random cliff. Absolute idiot. I mean... Oh, this just... What? How do I die to that? While exploring, I found these little roly-poly dudes who spin around throwing rocks like complete morons. Turns out, you just have to wait until they stop rolling and then smack them around. Do I just kite? I guess so. Nice. I have to do more of a... What the heck is that? What are you doing? I just have to kite. I have to hit, kite, completely different playstyle to what I was doing before. I was just going in and killing him before. I also discovered titanium ore. Sadly, you need a hardened steel pickaxe before you can mine it, so I just stared at it, then moved on. Back at home, the harvest moon hit, and I had to fight off waves of enemies before getting back to the farming duties. Disgusting pig. Get out of my property. What is this? I finally upgraded my pickaxe, which took me way longer than it should have, and disenchanted my sword because I was tired of getting set on fire every single time I hit anything in the video game. Then, I upgraded the town board to level 2, unlocking the blackjack minigame, a sapphire vendor, and more decorations, which are all tied to achievements that I need to get to 100% the game. At long last, I had my hardened steel pickaxe, which meant titanium mining was now on the menu. I also dusted off the hammer blueprint I had been hoarding since the start of the game. Turns out, the hammer was a way stronger weapon than my sword. Later on, I'll be slapping electric on that, but first, dungeons. I hit the corrupt tombs, which led straight to Electric Avenue, home to one of my most hated enemies in the game, electric fish. These guys will shock you, shred you, probably pay taxes upon your corpse. It took me way too many attempts. Bro, they're gonna kill me. They're actually going to kill me. Do I... No, I just die instantly. Okay. Instantly. And I kill these guys instantly. No prep, no nothing. Kill them. Kill them instantly. Okay. Nope. No killing instantly. It doesn't work. I don't understand how this works, to be honest. Like, how could this be fair? How can it spawn 5 at once on me and then expect me to beat it? But the secret strategy was basically just don't let them spawn at all. Shocker, I know. Alright, well. Ability cooldowns. Inside the tombs, I powered through traps, spawners, fire hazards, dying repeatedly until I smashed the totem and claimed my reward, which was Viking Greaves, boosting my damage and giving me cold resistance. Massive win. Electrify my hammer. Alright, how does it work now? Back home, I enchanted my hammer with electric, giving me a glorious amount of AoE damage. Oh, double the limestone. Are you kidding? I need that stuff, like, hardcore. Is this titanium? Oh, I can mine it now. Well, it is titanium, no? Titanium ore. Maybe I need better pickaxe. Is that titanium? Look, it's shining. Oh my god, it is. Oh, it's iron. Look! Oh my god, this is quite the heist. The heist is insane. There's more. They're guarding it. These little rascal rats. Heathens. Wait, there's so much. What am I doing? I can't see this guy, by the way. Oh, there he is. Thank you, good sir. This stuff's supposed to be rare. I'm mining it by the dozen. Frick yeah, dude. You're such a butthole. I blasted through a cursed dungeon, solved a purple fire puzzle, got some spiked greaves for that, and activated another keystone. That was 2 dungeons down. With titanium finally smeltable, though hilariously expensive at 10 ore and 10 limestone per bar, I discovered a new enchantment that could double the mined resources. So you bet I got way too excited about that. But music be like the boss fights are like Around level 14, I noticed the Master Explorer skill, which would let me keep my backpack after death. Wait a minute, why am I not hard rushing that? Perfect timing, because soon I stumbled into a goon nest packed with the fastest enemies yet. Nearly died. Oh, my region is not cracked, not anymore. Holy God. Holy God, what was this worth it? But I scored a feather shield that would boost my movement speed. This was absolutely worth. And with that, I was ready for my next big challenge, the Corrupt Chasm in Act 3. Yeah, electricity was so worth. I had Ignite. I had like fire aspect basically before. Now I have electricity on my hammer. I was like, yeah, this Ignite thing is really bad. Oh, well, I know where I've seen this before. What the frick? What's that? There's lutations down there. Give me some of that. Watermelons? I don't even know if that was worth getting. Going through the dungeon swiftly, my first menacing enemy was this flaming fella, which I did indeed die to. My second time around, though, was not favoring the flaming fella. That was really hard to say. As I came in swinging, he died almost immediately, as I basically ignored my HP and just went full damage on the guy. My next area was beyond the chasm. I noticed a spawner immediately to the right of me and took it out. It was once again a game of cat and mouse. I, the mouse, the voidlings after me, the cats. I ran around to every spawner and disabled them all, one by one, while the hordes followed me. I also got a level up to level 15, which was great. I had just one more spawner to take out, and with that was the end of the dungeon. I obtained the Viking braces from the chest, giving me more cold resistance and base damage increase. It felt like it went super fast thanks to my new hammer and electrical enchant. Now that I had time, I could look into putting the skill points from my level up into something. I chose Skill Jumper, which gave me jump height and movement speed. However, this was mostly just working towards the Keep Inventory on Death skill. So I'm gonna have Keep Inventory on. While on the way home, I noticed a familiar fella calling out to me. Lucky Jack, the blackjack dealer. He had found some sort of outpost spots for me to visit, which we'll talk about them later on. However, now it's time to get my gambling addiction on. How do you play blackjack again? Stay. Is it a lose 500 coins? What the frick?
You can low-key just sit here and gamble, and then by the time like,
get a blackjack! Yippee! Didn't really understand how blackjack worked, to be honest. Only thing I knew was I had cards in front of me, and I had to compete in this short blackjack minigame to obtain 3 achievements. Funny enough, for one of the achievements, I actually had to lose $500, which is great. I sat here for 10 minutes just to get the blackjack achievement, and I'm sad to say it, but I just sat here and gambled my life away for the next hour. Seeing as I almost had the next achievement, I decided to just stick it through. Until, finally, I achieved a gambling problem. No, not actually a gambling problem, just the Steam achievement, of course. Which put me at 13 out of 31 achievements. Although I had just one more gambling-related achievement left, I called it quits for now, and expanded on my farm and planted some more seeds. I really wanted to upgrade my workbench soon, as it would finally give me access to the alchemy table. For this, I needed a lot of hardwood, which I found out was collected from the overly large trees all over the island. I also made a bigger and better boat for travel. It was much, much faster than the raft. In this new trusty boat of mine, I traveled to a nearby desert island to maybe obtain some goodies. I obtained some limestone first, dealt with some creatures, got hit by a few rocks, and then stole all the titanium off this island that I could. I spotted a small box in the center of a pit with many enemies surrounding it, and I died instantly. Turned out my weapon tier was too too low for this box after all. I learned some more of the runic language, then headed straight to the corrupted monuments, which did start easily, but I eventually did meet my demise to a horde of voidlings. I pressed it! What? I think I pressed it. I mean, I pressed Q and they all attacked me at once. Found my way to the first important section of this dungeon, and that was don't look up. Not sure why I was being told to not look up, but I destroyed all the spawners with ease, and then next up was the terrifying trial by fire, which was lacking fire, however, it's a fairly easy area. There ended up being no boss here. It was but a simple parkour area. I took this area out with ease, and obtained a Viking chestplate from the chest. Activated the keystone, and fled the dungeon. I will be getting this though. What did I want? Keep my backpack, hammer, repair. Yeah, keep my backpack. Double fish and meat. Okay, I'll get that one next because that's actually really useful. Ancient tomes. All right. Let's just ignore this, please. Holy frick, half my health. Wow, you guys do damage. Jesus Christ, really? I entered the ancient tombs next and immediately left, extremely scared after almost dying. Came back in and entered the actual dungeon. This dungeon had a lot of new stuff. Spikes that came out of the walls and spinning spikes, which were great to deal with. Also, the ground was falling, which was nice. My electric enchant came in very handy with loads of spawners here. Next up was the Dozer Zone. It was an area of quite a lot of flaming rolling boys, and they were not very enjoyable to deal with, I will say. It was all about swiping, then dodging, then swiping, then dodging, because I didn't want to catch on fire, of course, because if you know how the ignite enchant works, when I used to have it, it would basically light me on fire if I ran into anyone. It works the same here, basically, with these enemies. The next area was a sort of puzzle with spikes. Quite the devilish puzzle, if you ask me. This guy! Look at this guy! He's deranged! Dude, he jumped through spikes for me! This guy's deranged. He's got issues. After my not-so-graceful death, I came back and found a small cheat. Ha! 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 The next area I spent a lot of time on, but it was a sort of timed puzzle. You hit the pressure plate, stand on a block, go up, stand on another pressure plate, fire turns off, and then go through. The egg sack attack. Very scary place. Lots of spawners. Also, I was explaining how the enchants work to a friend, so you can listen to this dialogue now. I'm so glad I have lightning on this, bro. It's so good. Oh my god. I had Ignite originally, but Ignite is just bad in every way.
Yes, I'm going to pretend like I know what you're on about.
Well, Ignite lights things on fire. It's fire aspect. Electricity is... It does exactly what you think it does.
Thank you for talking to me in Minecraft terms.
Ignite is fire aspect. Electricity is like multi-hit chaining. Yeah. And Ignite lights me on fire. So you'll see, you can probably see the problem there.
Well, that's kind of fucking lame. It
is indeed kind of lame. That's why I was happy to get rid of that enchant as soon as possible. Finishing off this part was the end of the dungeon, or so I thought anyways. I obtained a weapon this time, specifically a titanium glaive, which was less damage than my current hammer, so I wouldn't end up using it anyways. However, the animations were very cool. I also hit level 18. Next, it was time for the boss fight of the century. Void Troll boss had some very interesting attack animations. One being throwing an enemy spiked fella at the ground to help him attack me. However, it was a decently easy fight because he wouldn't directly attack me much, but when he did end up attacking me, it was a lot of damage. I think I will be dying here. Yeah, I need pots. Going back in, my strategy was to kind of just run around, wait for the guy to stop spawning the spiked fellas in, and wait until I could attack them all at once, and then just bam, 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 bam on the Void Troll's little booty hole. Your booty hole tastes fantastic. It really does. Oh. Frick, he hit me with a rock. What an idiot. Let's kill this guy, because this guy's gonna be a problem. I'll wait for that guy to stop rolling, kill him, and then we'll kill the boss. He's probably gonna... Honestly, I'm more likely to die to this guy than the boss. I know the boss has patents now. Thank you. Yeah! With that, I obtained the Viking helmet from the chest, meaning I had the entire Viking armor set. Also meaning I was able to visit the cold place, which was known as the Arctic land, freely and not take so much damage to the cold. With that, I rewarded myself with some titanium gathering. I got like a stone castle with half stone. Ugly. Yeah, I'm gonna get the alchemy table first. I'll be responsible. I'm gonna be responsible, trust me. First, before the alchemy table, it was time to upgrade the crafting table. Looking to craft the alchemy table now, it needed glass, as I noticed, which I happened to be saving a lot of. I began to upgrade the Bridgewater town board to get access to teleportation. Oh, I can warp anywhere? Oh, what? Dude, I'm here. So this is MA Town, which I would have had to boat to normally, but now that I had teleportation access, I'm just here. I activated the MA dungeon obelisk, made myself a boat, and got out of there real fast because I was dying as we speak because I did not have the appropriate armor to be in this place at the moment. Made my way to the desert island to fetch some titanium as well, activated another runic language tablet, and also reached level 19. I made my way to the outposts, which was long overdue. I purchased them, added a Tesla turret to the quarry for defensive measures, and after a very long time of gambling, obtained the Casino Master achievement. Holy God, I sit here for like 20 minutes doing that. Jesus. I was also deciding on enchanting my pickaxe with Miner, which gives a chance to double the resources gathered, which was going to be very necessary, by the way, and you'll see why later on. I upgraded my watering can to the big old bucket, crafted the alchemy table, and started brewing potions. I was now looking to upgrade the Tarragon town board, grinded materials to upgrade to level 2 and 3. It's just a lot of leveling, grinding up stuff at this point in my recording. But now that I had these upgrades, it meant that I could have a permanent teleport from Tarragon Town to Bridgewater Town and back if I wanted to. And as you saw, I obtained the Brewmaster achievement, meaning I had completed 50% of the game. I had a skill point, so I put it into Fiber Harvester. I had one more outpost to purchase, the Metal Refinery. I was intrigued by a cave in the middle of nowhere and stumbled upon a mining quarry. It would mine stone, limestone, lightstone, and a bunch of other stuff for me. However, unfortunately, I did not have oil for it yet, so this is for a later date. I decided on visiting the quarry to find a stash of goods in the stone pile. Traveled to the Arctic to start on the dungeons. Here, there were armed turrets and very scary new enemies, I must say. Turned out these enemies were quite tough. Thank God I have keep inventory on. Jesus Christ. These new enemies were still weak in comparison to future enemies that we were going to face, but a lot more capable of dealing damage. With that big splash, I reached level 20. I ran into the dungeon, the Stronghold Crypt. As I walked into the dungeon, I realized the chest was near the entrance. I realized also that there was a mega spawner boss bar, which would constantly spawn monsters until it was defeated. These monsters were constantly healing due to the flaming campfire looking things here, which meant it was time to go through trials to extinguish them and stop the healing. Electric Avenue boasts 2 terrifyingly strong new flaming blue enemies. I had no idea what I was doing. However, I had brewed potions, which meant I had a lot more survivability, making this area extremely easy for me. I extinguished the flames and everything burned in front of me. The next area was Ring of Fire. I used my kiting strategy from previously to conquer this part, and just tanked enough damage until I killed all the spawners. Finally, I could deal with the hordes of mobs after the spawners were defeated. I extinguished the second flames, and after this was Borland's Tomb. I specifically remember being extremely confused about this one. Oh my god, a boss. Wait, why is it healing? Wait, maybe these things are healing it. Wise thoughts. Unfortunately, it didn't matter, because I still didn't understand how it worked. I just kept smashing and smashing. To get out of this area, I let myself die. During this short intermission, though, I put a level into Elite Crafter, giving me less hunger drain, repair speed, and a chance to gain double wood and stone gathered. Instead of trying again like a normal person, I found a way to cheat the system a little by going around it and ignoring the fight completely. Yeah, I found a little swivel cannon. It sucked though, but I did end up using it to defeat the lightning fish over on the other side of the bridge. I ignored pretty much all of the monsters and hard rushed the extinguish button here, and of course I walked the exact same way I came in. Now that all the flames were extinguished though, I could freely take out the spawner, and since nothing could attack me because of my electric enchant, I was able to just rinse it very easily. I received Oni braces from the chest and activated the keystone. Also, I obtained the Rogan Way achievement whilst I was in this dungeon. It was quite an easy achievement. It's one of those achievements that you just kind of get for literally just playing the game. I didn't want to add it in the middle of the carnage, but there you go. I got that achievement. I returned home to do some farming and achieved the green thumb achievement right after for harvesting 1,000 crops. I feel as though I should do this cursed dungeon, which is indeed a good choice, as it was an achievement to complete all of the cursed dungeons in the game. Starting off with the cursed caves though, this dungeon was closest to my base. You've already seen this dungeon play out probably enough times as it is. There are a few different things about the cursed versions of dungeons. The structure is typically the same, the actual building itself won't change much, but there are usually a few things added, such as this purple flame which provides healing to all enemies around it. The monsters are typically a little bit stronger, and above all, where there are bosses in dungeons, there's either an extra boss or some sort of armored version, which you'll get to see later. Dungeon was extremely easy, even in curse mode, and it was such a breeze that I almost wanted to go back and do another. However, I moved on swiftly. I'd like to let it be known that I expanded the farm and made a water tank and filled it up with water, so I didn't have to go around manually watering all the plants all the time. I also made a chicken coop. This is pretty irrelevant though, the farm will go through a million changes throughout this whole video, and I probably won't show most of it since I've already gotten the achievement for farming. While on my way to do some titanium mining, a harvest moon rose. As a byproduct of this, my quarry was under attack. I made my way to the quarry to help defend my honor. My farm was ready to be harvested, and because I'm mentally challenged and have an extremely low IQ, I did not craft a scythe, which would have made the harvesting experience a little more bearable. So I went through and harvested it all one by one, like a mong. The next dungeon was upon us, the Stronghold Mine. In here was a mega spawner like the one previously, spawning all sorts of silly little creatures. These creatures were basically armored versions of the Voidhound, enemies who are already fairly strong. I dodged and weaved through the enemies and unfortunately made a mistake running into these smaller voidlings and ended up dying. Somehow, they do more damage than the bigger voidling freaks, and I don't know how that's normal. Making my way back though, I decided on ignoring all my problems and targeted the spawners specifically. Once defeated, the creatures weren't much of an issue afterwards. Dealing with the electric fish were not going to be much of an issue either. After merely taking half my HP, I decided to keep face tanking the electric shocks like a till I finally increased my IQ levels mid-fight and started backing out before performing a second attack on the fish. Next was two spawners connected to the main spawner right next to each other, so I had to strategically and methodically take them out individually. I may have face tanked a little bit too much, getting myself into red HP extremely fast. The next side had a double-ended double turrets firing into my holes all at once. I, of course, ignored them and moved on swiftly, dispatching the spawners one by one. After meeting the void and saying hello, I collapsed upon the final spawner before facing the mega spawner. I reached level 22 during my beatdown of the spawner, and from the chest I received an Oni chestplate. Interestingly enough, the mega spawner was also the keystone, which I had activated after. With my level up, I put my skill point into Master Crafter, giving me an extra hotbar slot. This was probably one of the better upgrades I had gotten in a very long time. Back home, I made a loom and turned all my cotton I had farmed into cloth, a very useful item that you'll see later on. My next goal was to try to catch one of every fish for the achievement, which meant a lot of traveling around to different places and fishing in certain spots to catch the certain fish that I needed. First, I caught a fugu, then a bluegill, then a rainbow trout. Felt like I fished for a while before catching the next fish I actually needed, but I did eventually catch a swordfish. I decided no better time than right now to upgrade my fishing rod by adding an enchant to increase the chances of catching double fish. Next up on the fish list was a shark. However, instead of fishing for sharks in this game, I was the hunter and the shark was my prey. Ironically enough, sharks in this game were always ready to pounce on you, but the second you shoot one arrow at them, it was like a wild goose chase. They just ran. I, of course, used my bow that I very rarely took out. Boy, did this shark give me a run for my money. But, alas, it was no match for my pristine aim. I also caught a tuna before heading into the caves to catch an anglerfish, which only spawn in cave water. I happened upon a lovely molten lava-filled area area with goods galore all over it. I deleted the spawner and then obtained some titanium. Unfortunately, this ore was not obtainable by my current pickaxe. This, if you don't know, is actually lightstone ore. I definitely spent longer in the caves than I actually wanted to, but it was worth it because I had a great big haul by the end, and I definitely ended up making some interesting structures to maneuver around in the mines. And because I'm lazy, I just let myself die and respawn at home so I didn't have to travel. Now that I had titanium up the wazoo, it was time for some upgrades. I upgraded my pickaxe and, of course, my hammer. The Damascus hammer was going to have to wait. However, I also enchanted some of my armor with lightweight for a boost in movement speed and a shorter roll cooldown. It was time to upgrade the workbench, which I just needed feathers for. Say thank you to the chicken coop for providing those goods. I also wanted to instantly upgrade the void pack, which was not only just great inventory space, but it was also an achievement as well. However, I didn't have the stuff for that just yet. I was on 61% of the game. To catch 100 fish, die to bees, defeat the bunch of freaking things, and then I gotta unlock all the stuff and eat 50 raw sardines, which is not gonna be very fun. I'm glad I did the fish one. That was just gonna be so annoying. I'm not even kidding, bro. I'm glad I did that now. Didn't have to do it later. I just have to catch 100 fish after all the dungeons are done, which I can do. Since we're on an absolute roll with the dungeons, it was time for the Stronghold Labyrinth to be conquered. Unfortunately, I still couldn't take out the turrets with my current pickaxe, and boy did this dungeon have a lot of turrets. It also featured those healing voidlings that I'd faced before, which was really annoying. So I stuck with my usual strategy, walking past literally everything and heading straight for the objectives. And honestly, it worked out pretty well for me. In the next area, I found another swivel cannon and tried to destroy one of the turrets with it. It sucked, so it didn't really do any damage at all. Then came something new, a massive armored boar, which was definitely not on my to-do list for the day. I died very fast to this thing. So I went back to my original plan to ignore all my problems and just go for objectives. Technically, I didn't really need to kill anything to activate them, so that problem was solved, luckily. I had another tussle with the armored bear and almost died again, but managed to pull it back with a slam attack. This kill got me to level 23. There was one more objective to activate, but of course, it was surrounded by electric fish. Now have a guess. Did I fight them? No, I didn't. I jumped over the electric waves and ignored everything again, as usual. Kind of like my ex-wife, you know, how I would ignore her all the time when she was yelling at me. After activating the final keystone, I obtained the Oni Greaves. My next task was to unlock the main dungeon on MA Island and defeat the boss. There were several turrets right at the start of the dungeon, and as you know by now, I cannot break them still, so that was going to be an issue. My next problem was, say hello to the Void Eater, Lens Island's most obnoxious and least enjoyable boss to fight. I'm being honest here, this fight was god-awful. The arena is so small, the camera was constantly clipping through the walls. Its attacks were very unpredictable, especially this lunge move that it spammed constantly, kind of like a freaking Mr. Game & Watch in Super Smash Bros. The room was filled with spawners, both on the ground and on the walls. I had to parkour up to destroy them really fast, or else they'd flood the area with armored spider voidlings that could really take a hit. I mean, these guys were strong. Thankfully, the Void Eater could not climb, meaning I was safe up high, but that didn't stop her little babies from harassing me anyways. Eventually, I decided to actually fight the boss, and it went exactly how you'd expect. I died, I tried again, and then I died again. So, I decided to leave this boss for later. I needed to gear up really bad. I brewed up some potions. While chopping trees, I earned the special achievement Anaphylactic. Yes! Yeah! I got another achievement! Yippee! And in the meantime, finally used my scythe blueprint, upgrading it into a proper tool. I also upgraded my iron hatchet into a premium titanium axe. While harvesting crops, I hit level 24 and put my point into elite farmer, giving me extra watering can capacity and a higher seed drop rate. During this time of reflection on my tragic boss fight, I decided to upgrade the house, turning it into a sort of Japanese style box home with tatami mats and all. It felt very cozy. I finally had the materials to upgrade the Shavar town board, and while I was on a roll, I also upgraded the backpack to the Sorcerer's Void Pack, giving me 500 slots per item. That was another big achievement that I had been chasing for a very long time. Considering how expensive that was, it felt very satisfying to get. Alright, it's time to get some Damascus steel. It was indeed time to start hunting down some fresh ores. To get Damascus steel, I needed tungsten, which only spawned in the Arctic mining islands specifically. To get 1 Damascus steel, I needed to smelt 5 tungsten and 5 titanium ore. While my ores smelted down, I had to go out and catch some squid, which were also in the Arctic region, as making Damascus weapons and tools required squid ink. During my travels around the world, I found a new island consisting of very little resources, but the most important was, no, not the sakura trees, but the bamboo, and there sure was a lot of it here. I also found the edge of the map, which was just a wall of ice, interestingly enough. I decided that I wanted to get a few cursed dungeons done before the boss, and of course upgrade my hammer as soon as possible. I wanted to gain XP, and this was probably the best way to do it. Starting with the cursed outpost, this dungeon was pretty lackluster. The mobs were supposed to be pretty difficult, but I felt pretty overpowered and nothing really hurt me that much. I actually didn't even have potions going into this. I was just using natural regen. While in there, I hit level 26, stuck a level in skilled healer, giving me extra health every 60 seconds. Once the dungeon was complete, I received the spiked chestplate from the chest. After activating the keystone, it was on to the next. The grind don't stop, or whatever the frick people say. The cursed chasm was up next, and I will say I did have quite the tussle with the void hounds here, almost dying in the process. But of course, at the end of the day, I am the best PvPer in Lens Island history, so they were no match for me. I had to defeat this flaming guy once again, which, if you guys remember, was not very fun to deal with the first time. I was able to defeat him, however, as a result of being on fire for too long, I did die, which was actually okay because the flaming guy was already dead anyways. Beyond the chasm, an arena jam-packed with spawners, and a purple healer flame to extinguish this time around. Also, lightning fish, which gave me a run for my money, but I dodged and weaved my way through and hit them over the head a few times until they were dead. From the chest, I received ancient braces. Okay, finally. This is gonna be worth it, I promise. Wow. Oh, I can double enchant? Oh, frick, really? Maybe fleeting. Fleeting it is. I don't know what else I could put on it that would make it, you know, good. So, fleeting it is. Ability cooldown reduction. So, how often can I use this? Wow. Pretty often. Wow, that's good. Since I hadn't upgraded the MA Town board yet, I had no access to teleportation, so I decided to make my own warp stone to MA Island. Now I can go wherever I want. That's so good. I'm ready to go die again. Yippee! Yippee! Getting snapped with an arrow as soon as I walk in. Yippee! 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 Hello, wench. Welcome back. I've come back with a hammer now. What are you gonna do now, huh? It was once again time to try to defeat the Void Eater. This time around with plenty of food, plenty of potions, and most importantly, the best hammer in the game, the Damascus Steel Hammer. It was quite the grind, but I was finally able to finish off all the spawners eventually. Wait, come here. Come here, you monkey. I'm not letting you get in the way of this. Thank you. As long as I can just spam my abilities, I think. Okay. Okay, that's the first spawn. It does like 3 of those, naturally. Keep myself full. Okay. Alright. Okay, I have to kill all of those. Otherwise, I think she eats them. Or does she? Oh my god, I got it bugged on the chest. Did indeed seem that I had found another bug in the game. When behind the chest, on the other side of the Void Eater, it seemed that she was unable to hit me, but I was able to get a few free hits in, which was just fantastic, honestly. This is fine. This is okay. No, stop freaking eating them! No, don't eat them, you bum! I hate when this stupid thing does that. No. Frickin'. You monkey! Yes! Yes! Oh my god. Oni helmet. Oh, almost got another achievement too. Oh my god. Put it on me. I got all Oni stuff now. Void Eater was finally defeated, and that was indeed my live reaction to that. There was now only one more dungeon left, and that was the final boss dungeon. I put a point into Master Farmer, giving me 10 more base health and free revive every 40 minutes. It would have been really useful during the Void Eater fight, but whatever, who cares? Next up, I wanted to collect several new decorations for the achievement Decorator Extraordinaire, which required me to collect one of every decoration item in the game. Of course, starting at Bridgewater Town, then making my way to Shavar Town to collect the remaining decorations. Harvest Moon Rose, and while I was planting crops, I reached level 28 and put a skill into Skilled Digger, giving a 25% chance to obtain double clay when mined. Alright, so the house has gone through some change, just a little, okay? I kind of didn't want to record it because it wasn't that special, but I changed a few things. The water portal's over there. I have windmills, I have water pumps, so my farms are going to be automatically watered now. I changed my farms. This is like the cabbage farm. This is like the rose farm. And this should be the marigold farm with like a bunch of trees. This down here is kind of like unfinished. The bed is down here now. And then like the workshop is upstairs. All the important stuff is up here now. I've been making a lot of things, as you can see probably. I've been making a bunch of food. Specifically food that heals me. This one heals for 43, this one heals for 18. I mean, it's just night and day. I was like, yeah, I might as well make some mushroom stew. I mean, I've got nothing to lose. Yeah. No, that's what I've been doing. I've also made some ramen. This one heals for 62. It also gives a cold resistance bonus, which isn't really necessary, but I got it anyways. I need Damascus to upgrade my pickaxe, but she'll be right. Well, I don't need to upgrade it anytime soon. I've also made a scythe. I've learned about scythes. I get it now. I understand it now. I made some more. I don't remember what I moved these turrets to here and there. This one's kind of defending this one. This one's defending these two. Then there's another ballista turret here defending. You get what I'm saying. I got a chicken farm with all the chickens over here. I made it a little bigger. Trying to debate on whether I should go caving first. Get a new. You can play music. Forgot I have that. I don't know if I should go caving, get more Damascus, or still thinking about that. It turns out with the fish I could make the ramen. I also started making oil. I got a fireplace. I actually wanted to upgrade this really bad, but as I said, we need Damascus, so it's gonna be a little bit long. And we need titanium to make more pure titanium, which then I have to. Or not make pure titanium. I need titanium and tungsten to make Damascus. Welcome to the final boss of Lens Island, the Heart of the Lightstone, or just the Lightstone Heart for short. Now, to fight this fella, I'll need to. Wait, is it like a being? Does this Lightstone thing have like feelings or something? I don't know, whatever. To beat the Lightstone Heart, I'll need to conquer 3 other parts of this dungeon. First was the Pits of Hell. Okay, that was absolutely terrible. There's this guy. Oh, frick. I have the ability to use my abilities almost instantly now, so that's... Okay, I gotta get it away from those fish, because I know they're gonna kill me. Okay, hold on. Oh! Frick me, this is annoying, huh? I did my research prior, and it is very easy to counteract the boss. This first area is usually... Oh. Naturally. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of cheating, even though I'm still dying. Still have to get over here, though. Yeah, as you can probably tell, I was doing just a tiny, teensy-weensy little bit of cheating here. Thanks to Floydson for that idea of doing this. I won't really need to put nearly as much effort into this section thankfully. This dungeon had extremely strong monsters. If it wasn't obvious while I was doing the cursed dungeons way back, it definitely was now. This was absolute hell, pun definitely intended, to deal with. In pretty much every section of this dungeon, I was kind of forced to maneuver around pretty annoyingly, leading the monsters away from the spawner, then doing a ground slam, looping around to the other spawner, so on and so forth. Thanks to Floydson's video on this game as well, I gathered some crucial intel on how to cheat a little. Yeah, I'm a dirty little cheater. Basically, all you need to do is sit on the platform that the mobs can't get to and just ground slam, and you can pretty much kill them all in one big swing. I was pretty certain that this was only a hammer thing. I don't think any other weapons in the game can reach this far, so I was really glad that I decided on making the hammer for this playthrough. Next up was the labyrinth. I very much dreaded this area. At the beginning, there's two little voidling fellas. Walking a little further in, there's a bigger, angrier voidhound fella. These were beaten very easily by my super strength. My hammer did everything. However, these towers cannot be hacked away at by my current pickaxe, because I still did not have a Damascus pickaxe. So, unfortunately, for now I had to leave the labyrinth. While in the dungeons, I leveled up to level 29. At this point, I was just putting my points into whatever. Precise miner this time, though, giving me a chance to mine double lightstone. I had my recording paused, but wait. 71! Collect 50 lightstone. I had my recording paused because I'm literally just mining. Frickin' finally, dude. All I need to do now is eat some sardines and catch 100 fish. And then the rest is like just grindy, doing bosses and all that stuff. I'm just mining for tungsten and lightstone. Oh, sorry, titanium, of course, for obvious reasons. And I see this. Can I... Oh, I can place stuff here. What's this? A globe! Oh, heck yeah, dude. I found the chopper on a random island. One of 4 exotic weapons to collect throughout this game. Alright, let's upgrade the pickaxe. Frick yeah, dude. Damascus pickaxe is crazy. Dude, look how sick I look. I need to start upgrading some of these like this. Okay, this I need sapphire, which I've got in here. This I need to upgrade everything in the game, pretty much. Claymore is gonna take 3 pure titanium. I have to get cloth and hardwood, which I should have a lot of. It was once again time to attempt the labyrinth once again. This time, defeating the towers with my Damascus steel pickaxe. I defeated this area pretty fast and saw a void fella upon some arrow holes, so I violated the guy, of course. This area was quite daunting, as it was a 2x2 platform with a spawner taking up 95% of it, but I took it out easily. I took out another tower and then moved on to a bigger platform with 2 void hounds guarding it. While fighting these fellas, I reached level 30. Final area had no spawners, but loads of super strong voidlings, which of course I died to. I decided on completing the next area, the stronghold, first. At the starting section, a flaming void fella appeared, which I had already seen enough of, so I dispatched of it really fast. Took out the tower, and another flaming void fella appeared, which I did a lot of face tanking to defeat. Now, unfortunately, these dungeons were not much like our previous dungeons we faced. We must defeat all enemies before activating the keystones. That includes the towers and these zappy fish. Keystones were guarded by 2 void boar fellas, which I slowly let leave the area as I defeated them one by one, using the electric enchant to my advantage. Once both were defeated, I activated the keystone, then it was time to defeat the dreaded labyrinth. I'm not going to bore you with watching this again, so once defeated, my task was to defeat the final boss of the game. Okay, so this boss is supposed to be very hard. We'll see. We will see how hard it is. I can't read any of that. Shadow cannot exist without light. I can read that. Defeat the heart of the lightstone. Alright. Oh, okay. You take a lot of damage. Also, I have no pots left. So it seemed I was not ready for the boss just yet. I returned home, and while farming, I reached level 31, sticking my point into the multi-shot rune, which was an enchant that I was probably never going to use, but regardless, I had to finish the entire skill tree for an achievement. I upgraded my torch. However, the last torch upgrade needed slime, which I didn't have much of just yet. After that, I went out and did some taming of some animals. First a red panda, and then a bear. Taming in this game is pretty simple. You make a bait box, found in the crafting recipes, and then put put a certain type of food in the bait box, and let the animal come to you that you want to tame. I went out to collect slime to upgrade my torch and make potions when I suddenly hit max level 32. There was only one more skill. Holographic rune, giving me the skilled achievement for getting all skills. I bought some more of the Kabuto gear in MA Town, specifically the chest plate. All I had to get left was the helmet. I went back home to upgrade some of the necessary weapons. I have to go around to towns and just start buying a bunch of armor. Oh, I'm missing the spiked helmet. I see. What is that? What is this? Wrecked Greaves. After finding the wrecked Greaves, I entered the cursed monuments. It was extremely easy. Don't Look Up was supposed to be slightly challenging. However, I ended up killing all the spawners and all the mob without even getting rid of their healing totem. So this was not hard at all. Trial by Fire this time around had a tower that would shoot at me on a moving platform. I taught the tower a lesson with my hammer forged in fire and obtained the ancient chestplate from the chest. I went off to the Arctic to catch 100 fish and obtain the achievement Get Schooled. You might be wondering, why the Arctic? Well, if you remember, I also have to eat 50 raw sardines as an achievement. So I just fished up sardines in the Arctic, and while I took damage, I just chugged down raw sardines. So I ended up getting 2 achievements at once. Since I had enough slime now, I upgraded my torch to the max level torch, which made my very bright torch into a super duper bright blue torch. Found a mining quarry in the mines, and since I had fuel for it, I gave it some oil and let it do its thing. It was now time for the cursed tombs, which was extremely easy once again, as I was not only max level, but my hammer was maxed and double enchanted. I took almost no damage here as well. It was an absolute breeze going through the cursed tombs. From the chest, I received the ancient Greaves, activated the keystone, and went back to see my spoils in the mining quarry, which there was quite a lot in there. Now is a better time than ever. It's time to upgrade my axe to the Damascus axe, meaning I had almost every weapon in the game. Speaking about having everything in the game, I still have to obtain some armor. Druid braces and druid chestplate were sold at Tarragon Town, so I bought those. The sorcerer's armor was sold at Shavar Town, so I bought those as well. I went back home to Bridgewater Town to purchase half the leather set. In MA Town was the Damascus sword for sale. Didn't quite have enough for that yet, as it was 2,500 gold. However, I sold off a few things and was finally able to purchase it. I also needed the final piece to the Kabuto gear, so I purchased that as well. Later, I went back to Tarragon Town to purchase the rest of the druid armor. I went off into the wilderness on a late night to tame a tiger and also a cat. I also went off to tame a wolf as well, which meant I had tamed every animal in the game. I upgraded my lumber mill to max level. I can't even read that. There's like a little island sausage thing. What the frick is that? Is that? No. What am I looking at? It's probably undiscovered land, huh?
Is it looking phallic?
A little bit. I don't understand what I'm looking at.
It might be a penis.
No, I have to... Where is that? And found the wrecked braces on an island. I cursed the next dungeon, and instead of doing the dungeon like a normal person, I beat down the mega spawner with my Damascus hammer and tried to outdamage the healing, which I actually did succeed in. From the chest, I received a paladin chestplate, activated the keystone, and purchased the rest of the winter fur gear. Back at the cursed dungeons again, this time with the corrupt city. Get Burned was quite an area to conquer. 2 flaming dudes instead of just 1 this time. With my electric enchant, this was very easy. Next up, wait, we're back in Pound Town. Let's freaking go, dude. After going to Pound Town on your mother, I seeked out another challenge. Lucky for me, this cursed dungeon had quite the challenge to offer. The double void boar fight. Now, you might be wondering, what on earth is that crown? And what does it have to do with this fight? Well, let's go back in time just a little bit. First, a small intermission to buy this fisherman's flying hat. But after that, we need to defeat the end boss first. Once in the room with the Lightstone Heart, I had to dodge my way through elemental attacks. This was very important as this boss does a lot of damage. While dodging around its attacks, I attacked the bottom of the Lightstone Heart. Once the Lightstone Heart dropped into this position, I could start doing true damage to its health. It had a multitude of attacks, such as this one, throwing elemental explosive shock balls at me, or this one, where it electrical shocks me when I get too close. Or even this one, where it shocks the entire ground. Except for this upper part of the arena, which may have been an oversight by the developer, but whatever. Because of this small oversight, this boss was much easier than intended. Every time it dropped down, I would just crit it as many times as possible. When it rose back up, I would just move out of the arena completely and let it run down its attack until it was finally defeated. Let's frickin' go, dude. Yeah! Let's go. And this stuff spawns like hella lightstone. So much lightstone. It's crazy. For defeating this boss, I obtained the lightstone crown, which gives you 100% elemental damage blocking. And with that, Act 5 was completed. And of course, as you know, I went through this dungeon once again cursed. I defeated all the dungeons with ease, and even the boss again with ease. As, of course, I now had 100% elemental damage blocking. It could not hit me once. By the grace of gods, I defeated the boss once more. Now that we're done with that, let's get back to the Void Boar fight. Now, as you can see, with the crown, this boss also did 0 damage to me. Maybe this was on purpose, but the cursed bosses are much easier now with this crown. I defeated one and then the other, getting the Board Decimator achievement for defeating them. From the chest, I received the last piece of the spiked armor. To the cursed tombs we go next. Friendly fire was quite the arena, lots of flaming dudes. They certainly got me pretty low. However, once again as usual, all I needed to do was wait for the spinning dudes to stop spinning so much, and then attack. Troll in the dungeon. The flaming version of the Void Troll was up next on my hit list. If you remember from last time, all these guys do is throw out their little kitties to fight for them. He doesn't really do much fighting on his own. Thankfully, I brewed a lot of potions, so face tanking damage while spanking the Void Troll with crits wasn't so dangerous this time around. When in a vulnerable position where he wasn't moving much, I would bend him over and give him a good spanking. Let's just say this fella did not like those spankings very much. I very nearly died, but in the end, I was victorious, getting the Troll Decimator achievement. From the chest, I received the Ancient Helm. Next was the Cursed Labyrinth, which I defeated without any issues. It just took a little bit longer, of course, with stronger monsters and all. From the chest, I received the Paladin Greaves. Next up was the Stronghold Crypt. I'd argue one of the easier dungeons, because I could literally just attack the Mega Spawner off rip and kill it easily by out-damaging the regen like last time. From the chest, I received the Paladin Braces. Next was something I was dreading all along, the fight with the Armored Void Eater. In my opinion, the hardest boss in the game. Yes, actually harder than the Lightstone Heart. Of course, as you can probably recall, my first job was to defeat all the spawners, and there is, of course, a lot of them. Once defeated, I gave the Armored Void Eater a good smack around, but don't worry, she was also giving me a good smack around as well. In this fight, I had to really focus on killing her kids to make sure that she wouldn't eat them and regain HP. If I'm being honest, this was the most difficult part about the fight. Unfortunately, my first attempt was a bust. I geared up and came back a little later, shaking my boots, but ready to take her down. I knew that every time she screamed, she was going to spawn in more babies. The babies specifically spawned in behind her, so to kill them, I had to get up in her business, which is not ideal. I only had food left at this point, no more potions, as this fight was going on for a very long time, and I'd drained down a lot of my potions just at the start. Luckily for me, the food I was eating had healing qualities, which helped a great deal. Much better than the cooked venison that I was eating before. I will say, this boss was making me internally rage at the amount of healing she got from eating the babies, but I kept going nonetheless. I was getting very close, and then I unfortunately died to a smaller spider. It was absolutely infuriating, so I went and did some upgrades. First, the titanium glaive, next the yatagan, then the sword. In the meantime, I was brewing a lot of potions and cooking a lot of food to fight the armored void spastic with, and time must have flown because once my potions and food were done, I was back in to try once more. Pretty early on into the fight, I got a good chunk of damage on the spastic, mostly because I was abusing the chest in the middle of the room to keep the void eater away from me. She got to a weird point where she wouldn't spawn anything in and wouldn't attack, so I just went ham on her with crits. I made sure to kill off the babies as soon as possible to stop her from healing at all. I realized that this more aggressive style of fighting against this boss was the only thing that would actually work. That also meant face tanking a lot of damage and just hoping it wouldn't one-shot me. Healing back up and then face tanking again was my strategy, literally. Finally, after a long journey. The Void Eater was defeated by my hands. Ah, frickin' finally, dude. My god. What a terrible boss. Jesus Christ. Alright, let's get this Paladin's thing, right? Paladin helmet. Yippee! So, that's almost everything in the whole game. That's everything. Almost. In the whole game. And that's almost every weapon as well. I don't need to upgrade anything. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna need to Google this. Oh, I completed all the cursed dungeons. Oh, hell yeah. I'm 90%. I have to get every decoration, every weapon, and every armor piece. That's it. I maxed out the Shavar Town board and the MA Town board as well. I maxed out my metal refinery and the quarry. And next up was to find the wrecked gear. Oh! Well, there it is. Picking. That was annoying. Alright, we're going to this random little island. This tiny. This looks like it. Oh, I found it. There. Right there. Wow. On his head. That's crazy. I got the ramen! That should technically be technically every armor piece. Now, I don't know where these are. Alright, it appears that the last 2 pieces of armor, or wearables, is just bought. You just purchase it, which I didn't know. It's bought from Steph. It's these little things. Grape, feather, cotton. Well, there's that. I need grape, feather, and cotton. That is the weirdest combination. Grape, feather, cotton. That is the weirdest combination of things I've ever seen. There we go. Yippee! Armor collector. Unlock every armor and outfit. Okay, now it's to find the spiky shield. And then I need to go in the caves. My least favorite part. What's it called? The slime hammer, which isn't very good. I'm checking the desert islands at the moment because it seems... I think there's supposed to be like a chest with the spike shield in it. I did indeed get the spiked shield from this chest once breaking it. Exotic spiked shield. Wait a minute, I found something. Hold on. Take care of these stinky bugs. Completionist. 10 grand for all that. Jesus. Oh yeah, I'm 94% of the way done with the game since I got all the armor pieces. But I found one thing. And there's a little rod here. Candle! After a very long time searching, I finally found the slime boss. Oh my god, I freaking found it. Come here, boy. Come here, monkey. I'll admit, you do a little bit of damage. Balls, this slime. There we go. Now they're not gonna do any damage at all. Yes, keep doing your 3 damage. Holy god. Oh. Yes! Oh my god. And learn the ancient rune. I don't think I'm gonna get to all of those actually. So what am I getting? See, now I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting. I think the last 2 I have to craft them, right? It has to be craftable stuff. Or like blueprints. I don't know what these 2 are. The last decorations ended up literally simply being purchasable things in Bridgewater Town. And that is the end of the game. That is 100% of Lens Island. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Go watch my other videos. I'll have another video coming out very soon. Another 100% video. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Laters. That is it. That is 100% of Lens Island. Holy balls. Oh my god.